Ghosts and ghouls, demons and aliens, monsters and worse. Only here on Ghost or What, the best channel for original scary stories. Our next story is A Haunting Delivery. Anthony finished studying medicine, and shortly after graduating, he married the love of his life. Less than a year later, the couple had a son, and by the time the baby started to talk and walk, the family moved to a bigger house in a new part of the city. It was an exciting adventure for a new family, but there were a lot of new things to get used to. The house was unfamiliar, the streets were unknown, and the neighbors were strangers. Hopefully not for too long, though. The family was optimistic and excited to get to know every little thing in this world of theirs. One warm Sunday night, after a good long day of enjoying their time together, they decided to order pizza for dinner. Their little boy was so excited. He was at that age when pizza was the greatest thing in the world. Anthony and his wife were on their phones, looking for a good pizza place nearby, when they were interrupted by their son. The boy brought them a little paper card, which looked quite old, with grease stains and plenty of creases, and it advertised a pizza restaurant at a pretty close location to their new house. It must have been left in some drawer by the previous owners of the house, and the baby found it by pure chance. The restaurant's slogan said, "We'll get your pizza so fast you won't be able to catch the delivery guy." Anthony was amused, and his son was so excited to have contributed that they decided to call that place. Not even 5 minutes later, there was a knock at their front door. Anthony was skeptic. He instantly thought it was going to be a bad joke, or a prank pulled on them by the neighbors. In fact, he thought about not even opening the door at all. But then he heard a cheerful voice he knew by heart exclaim, "Thank you." It was his son. He was at the front door by himself. Anthony ran toward there as fast as he could, but when he got there, all he saw was his young son standing by the closed door with a pizza box in his hands. Hey buddy, who gave you that? Did they ask for money?" Anthony asked, but his son smiled, shook his head, and said, "He was nice. He just smiled at me and gave me pizza." This felt strange and unsafe too. Anthony's wife didn't want to eat the pizza at all, but their son was over the moon, and the card and the pizza box seemed legit. Perhaps they were closer than expected. Maybe they had pizzas ready to deliver, just waiting for someone to call. That might explain why it was kind of cold. Maybe the previous owners had a deal, or there was a promotion for free pizza for newcomers to the neighborhood. Either way, they ate their pizza, enjoyed it thoroughly, and forgot all about it the next day. However, contrary to what Anthony and his family believed, that wasn't the end of the story. The next weekend, on Friday night, Anthony's son desperately asked for pizza again. He very nearly threw a tantrum for it, and eventually convinced his parents. Anthony called the same pizza place again, but the line appeared to be disconnected. He thought it was incredibly strange, considering they had ordered pizza just a few days ago. He tried again, and his wife called again, but they had no luck. They went upstairs to browse on their phones for another restaurant, but they had barely sat down when they heard a knock on the door. They weren't expecting anyone, and none of their calls had worked. So Anthony thought it was just a strange coincidence. He didn't even hurry up going down the stairs to open the door. When Anthony reached the door, he froze in place. "No, what are you doing? Where did you get that?" Anthony exclaimed and rushed down to the floor beside his son, who was sitting on the ground eating pizza from a now familiar box. Anthony's wife freaked out even more, but the little boy only gave the same answer. "He was nice. He smiled at me and gave me pizza." His parents were losing their minds. Where did the pizza come from? Why was it free? Why on earth did the delivery guy give free pizza to their son without waiting for the parents or asking for money? Everything was so strange. This time, despite their son's tears, They couldn't help but take the pizza away from him. They couldn't trust this strange situation. Unsettled and uncomfortable, the family tried to have a regular dinner, but it was difficult. The little boy was deeply upset, and the parents were growing more and more nervous. Someone out there knew their address and their son, and that didn't feel safe. Finally, they were able to go to bed, fall asleep, and try to forget about this entire mysterious pizza business. This didn't last long. Anthony was startled out of his slumber by a loud knock on the front door. His heart leaped in his chest. This was a bad sign, and he couldn't let anything go wrong right now. He ran toward the front door, nearly tumbling down the stairs in his hurry. He was terrified to find his son talking to a stranger again, but what he saw scared him even more. The front door was completely open. Anthony stood there, watching the cold night outside while he shivered in fear. He couldn't waste another second. He started running up the stairs again this time. Who was doing this and why? Most importantly, how was it even possible? It was too fast, impossible to understand, impossible to catch. His family was exposed and vulnerable, and he had to be with them. When Anthony reached the top of the stairs, he found his wife standing completely still on the door of their son's bedroom. He was overcome by fear, wondering what she could be staring at. Slowly, feeling like he might be about to faint at any moment, Anthony walked to his son's bedroom. What he saw inside paralyzed his heart. This psychological torture had reached its peak. His son was sitting on his bed, looking perfectly content, eating pizza out of that damn box. How did it get there? Who brought it to him? Was it dangerous? Was something wrong with their son? Anthony and his wife walked inside the room quickly and started looking everywhere for someone hiding. But this plan backfired on them. A second later, the door of their son's bedroom was slammed shut. They were locked inside. No matter how hard they hit the door, it wouldn't budge. And the entire time, their son was smiling and eating the pizza. Anthony lost his patience. He grabbed the damn pizza and just threw it out the window. That's when he saw him. He finally saw him. He was standing down there in the garden, looking up at him, but that thing couldn't be a man. Did you think that was the end? The terror never ends. Subscribe to our channel to hear more horror stories, only on Ghost or What.